Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be restoring this 1967 release 1968 Volkswagen, first year for the Hot Wheels. This is the US model. You could tell by the clear windshield. It has a metal engine, which I'm going to be showing you pretty soon. You can see the axles are bent very badly. So here we have the casting. I'm going to be using this center punch, which you could adjust here at the end with this knob. You want to be very careful when working with these old Redlines. The die cast is actually pretty weak. That's why you don't want to do too much force, being that the engine sticking out. Can't do that on the putting the car facing down on the mat. So I'm gonna do it holding it. So I'm here, I'm just trying to find the center. Now on this US version, that front post actually is the engine. On the Hong Kong version, it only has one post in the back, and the front actually hooks over with the headlights. So on the Hong Kong version, the headlights are part of the base. So once we use that center punch, I'm going to be using my 1/16 drill bit here, just to drill deep enough to serve me as a guide for the bigger drill bit to remove the mushroomed head of the post. Gotta be very careful with these cars. Especially this one, because this one is not mine. I'm doing this for Champion DJK. We worked out a deal. He basically sent over two of these, one for me and one for him. So this one I'm doing right here is for him. Sorry that I was not in frame, but you know, gotta keep an eye on what you're doing. Gotta make sure that I'm deep enough, because this front post is actually very difficult to drill out once you remove that the mushroom part. So I'm trying to do the whole thing right now. So there, I'm very slowly removing the head of the post. Don't rush it. When you do these cars, you're trying to do you do it very slowly. That way the drill bit doesn't actually touch the base. Even though it's gonna go back with a screw, I don't like to touch and scratch up the base. I'm trying to be very careful here. I don't want to force it, because again, these castings the metal is very weak. So if you force it, you might bend it. So I'm using a small flat tip screwdriver. You can see I'm lifting part of the rolled over metal, holding the base in place. Sometimes what I do is if it doesn't want to come out, I just push it into the middle and then I use the drill bit again. There, I'm gonna lightly poop, and it just came out. It didn't really take any effort or a lot of strength. Now here in the back, I have to go over it again, and you can see the drill bit there. Took another chunk of metal out, and there, it's out. Let's take a look inside. Got a weird hair here. Could be from a cat, I don't know. Look at the interior. The interior on the US version and the Hong Kong version are different. Here is the windshield. It's missing the sunroof. Not really worried because I ordered brand new replacement. It's the original windshield actually didn't look that bad. So you can see the casting. It looks to be all chipped up. Here's the engine. There's the post. And after drilling in pretty far, using my 256 tap, I cut some threads, and I do the same thing in the back. Again, being very careful. And of course, before painting, I put it all back together just to make sure that everything goes back smoothly. You don't want to do any of these steps after painting. After painting, I usually let the car sit for at least 24 hours. Even though I bake the paint and it's ready to be touched within 30 minutes, but I still leave it 24 hours just to be sure. There goes the 256 button head screws. All right, guys, check it out. So after the paint remover, you can see that the casting actually doesn't look that bad. We do have some toning on this side, but you can see that we don't have any sink left. So I'm gonna be sink plating the casting, and I'm not gonna delete any of the casting lines because this is a restorations. This is the base. You can see it cleaned out pretty good. I used instead of using the electro polish, I used CLR. Normally I use lime away, but I ran out, and usually I stop by Target before going to work, and they don't have lime away. They did have CLR. I tried it out. It turns out CLR is not as strong, which is good depending on what you're trying to do. You can see it cleaned up everything pretty good, but it did not really eat away at the metal, which is what what we really want. You see all these little marks. If you use something stronger, they'll probably end up being deeper. So right here, the way it looks basically looks all original. And of course I could polish it, but then it just, I don't know, it wouldn't look like a restorations. The purpose of this restoration, I want it to look somewhat like a mint condition, and a mint condition will not have a polished base. So before I change out the wheels, I wanted to show you a comparison. For this project, I'm going to be using wheels from Bright Vision. All my Redline restorations, I've gotten their wheels from them. As you can see, I have here 4 medium, 4 small, because I'm doing 2 Volkswagens. Now, this is a replica of the US models. Notice that they're not chrome, they're gray. This is how the Hong Kong version look. See how the center of the wheel is chrome, the rim. And if you watch my restoration videos, you know that I really like to use the deep dish Hong Kong version. You can see the difference here. You see why they call it deep dish. I bought a few of these to swap out these ones that are already done, but I'm like, they're already there. I don't want to break a wheel because they're not cheap. But I got these just in case I decide. Once you get these on, they go on pretty tight, so you run the risk. Especially on this one, I'm not even going to try to rescue because they're already pretty beat up. And there's another big difference here between the Hong Kong and the US version. If you see my Hong Kong restorations, you know that the Hong Kong base, this axle is all one piece and it's all interlocking, so you could basically take it out. On the US version, you can see it's split here and everything is crimped in place by a machine. So if you break this, good luck trying to fix this. It's gonna be near impossible. Near impossible. So what we do here is, before I replace them, we're using this tool here. Before they go into the car, with this tool we bent the axle back in place. You can see that those little bearings, over 50 years old, they tend to get some play, so you're never gonna get the wheel to sit perfectly straight. What you want is close enough. You want it to look close enough. I'm just gonna do some minor tweaking here. Then once everything is back together, I'll finish it up. Let me get it from this side. Again, I'm trying to be very careful, because if that bearing breaks, you can say bye-bye. Now I'm gonna use this one here. This one looks like it wants to come off, but I'm not even gonna worry. Just make sure you grab it. You're far away from the bearing. Sometimes Sometimes they come out in one piece, sometimes they don't. That's why you gotta be very careful. Look, right now it's broken and it still doesn't want to come off. So if you would have tried to pull this out, it would have break. You would have had a mess. Yeah, I'm trying to do this without touching the bearing. There you go. Look, oh, there you go. It came out. Let me do this one. Try to be away from the bearing. Boom. It's out. One is out. Come on now. There you go. Beautiful. I'll leave a link to Bright Vision eBay listing with the US wheels. They usually sell like 4 small and 4 mediums. I had to ask them if they could put this set together for me, because they do have this set with 4 and 4, but for Hong Kong. Never hurts to ask. One of two things could happen. They could say yes or they could say no, you know? Just, that's why I always ask. All right, so you have the front over here. This is the front, small. I want to just present it. And then I use the tool again to hold the bearing. And then push it in. There it is. There. The tool is to hold the bearing while you push. If you don't do this, what's going to happen is, you can see here, the little head here of the axle sticks out. So if you try to push it in, this might break the outside of the wheel and you're going to have a mess. So that's why I just put it in there like this, and then I use the tool to finish the job. There. There. So as you can see, they're not perfectly straight. What you want to do is try to get them so when the car is laying in its natural position, they look straight. That's about as much as you could do. But considering how it was looking, it's not looking that bad. Now, see this? There, it looks better. And when everything goes back together, it'll be easier to finish the alignment here. So I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna do the zinc plating, and I'll show you how it looks once I'm done with that. All right, guys, check it out. I don't think it's looking that bad. I did three coats of zinc plating, very low voltage and very low amperage, for 30 minutes each section. And now we're ready for paint. So I'll be back once that's done. All right, guys, let's take a quick look at what we started with. And even though it didn't look very good, turned out that the casting was not that bad. And here is the finished product. You see we have brand new windshield. I bought it from Second Chance Redlines on eBay. There it is, brought back to life. You can see the wheels are better aligned. These you can't really get perfect. They were never perfect from factory, but they were better. They're definitely better than they were. How about we do a quick comparison here? Check it out. You can see that it's the same paint. The paint is hot pink from the Redline shop. The biggest difference, of course, this new model was chrome plated before the paint was applied. So of course it's gonna have a better casting, you know, better surface for the paint. But you know, the originals were never chrome plated. They just had zinc, which is not the same. The new one has they call neoclassic. That's why I'm wearing gloves. You can't really touch those wheels because you're gonna lose the chrome. How about we add something else? Look at this, the pink Datsun 510. You ever thought you would see all of those in one shot? How about I add something else to the mix? Guess what it is? Guess what it is? The pink Beach Bomb. Oh yeah. Let me turn it around so it'll come straight at you. I need to get one of those old Hot Wheels that's beyond a fixable stage, just for the axles. This thing came with some replica axles, and the little bearing, it's just crap. Look at the wheel, just, and I want to switch out the axle. It doesn't look that bad if it's standing still, but I'd much rather have an original axle. So I started with 2 Volkswagen. You probably wonder, where is the other one? Remember, this one is for Champion DJK. I had a conversation with him as to what color. I told him what color I was going to paint mine, and he said that, yeah, he wanted that same color for his. So there is the other one. So you ever thought you see that much pink in one shot? Wow, huh? That's gonna be it. Remember to go visit diecast. I mean, Champion DJK. Go visit his channel. He'll probably do a video once he receives this. I know I'm not gonna post this video until he gets his Volkswagen. I want to spoil the finished product. You can see the windshield opens and closes here. Sometimes it's not easy because if it twists just a little bit, there it goes. But these windshields are, from my experience, they're a perfect match. They even have the same kind of shade or toning to the original. That's gonna be it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. Peace out.